This week, I'd like to talk about something I'm convinced we all face at one time or another in life. We face discouragement, we face disappointment, and sometimes we even have to go through a depression. And especially in these times, dealing with the crisis of the coronavirus and the social isolation, distancing, it can be really difficult dealing with the overflow of emotions that begin to drain us in such a way we begin to feel discouraged and depressed. So in Psalm 102, the psalmist, I call this the "Oh me, oh my" psalm. Hear my prayer, O Lord. Let my cry come to you. Do not hide your face from me in the day of my distress. Incline your ear to me. Answer me in the day when I call. For my days pass away like smoke, and my bones burn like a furnace. My heart is struck down like grass and is withered. I forget to eat my bread because of my loud groaning. My bones cling to my flesh. I'm like a desert owl of the wilderness, like an owl in the waste places. I awake and I'm like a lonely sparrow on the housetop. And he goes on and on as he says, "Oh me, oh my," and he's in the depths of despair. The psalmist is. Well, maybe you feel that way. And I want to talk this week about dealing with depression, dealing with discouragement, dealing with disappointment, because it happens to all of us. In 1 Timothy chapter 6, verses 6 through 10, there's a whole passage there, but it begins with these words: "Now godliness with contentment is great gain. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain that we can carry nothing out. And having food and clothing, with these we shall be content." Didn't finish the chapter. We'll get back a verse. We'll get back to that at another time. But as we deal with depression is an emotional drainer. And certain things happen that bring us to the place where we can't feel joy. We can't feel good. And sometimes we get a sense of very hopelessness and even helplessness dealing with the issues of life. Do you feel that way? Well, I want to talk about how I believe biblically we can deal with depression and it can make a major difference in our life. And I want to talk 4 things that happen, because most of us look at what we call the surface problems. And these are problems that are visible to other people and even sometimes to us. And it's clear that there are deeper problems, but it's the visible problems that become deceiving. These are evidenced by illness sometimes, wrong priorities, financial problems, lying, stealing, cheating, arguing. And these are the visible results of inward conflicts. That's what's going on inside of us. In James chapter 4, verse 1, he says, "For where comes wars and fightings among you? Don't they come even from your lust that war inside your members?" So the problem's deeper than lying and cheating and stealing and fighting and throwing a fit. It's deeper than that. And so we have surface problems that we see, but underneath that are surface causes. Surface causes. These are experienced within the emotions and the feelings. Now, sometimes these aren't revealed to others. They don't see it, but they get revealed in different ways. These are like insecurity, worry, anger, envy, jealousy, tension. The inward results of building our lives and affections around that which is temporal. These are feelings. Matter of fact, in this passage in 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 9, "But they that will desire to be rich, they fall into temptations and a snare, and to many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition." It says, "For the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil, for which some have strayed into faith in their greediness and pierced themselves through with many sorrows." So we're going to continue this week, but surface problems lead to surface. We find underneath them surface causes, but then underneath that we find some root problems. That's what I really want to talk about this week. And then under that we find one root cause. And hopefully this will help you crawl out of that, or begin to step out of that depression or that sense of loneliness, that sense of despair that might be in your life today. Well, God bless you. Thank you for joining with us, and I trust that these will be an encouragement and help as we learn to trust the Lord day by day.